AI is this buzzword that is everywhere, and everybody talks about it because of the efficiency it brings to the table. AI is driven by infrastructure, is driven by data, is driven by policy, is driven by human capital, is driven by trust.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Tehemba, and you are welcome to Purple Diaries, Policy Innovation Center's platform for advancing conversations around gender and social inclusion. In line with the 2026 Gender and Inclusion Summit team, Making Innovation Count for the Last Mile, we have engaged some amazing change makers to find out the amazing job they're doing to make innovation available and relevant to the ordinary man. I know you do not want to miss this. Watch out for it. Good morning, Ma. You are welcome to Purple Diaries.
Thank you so much, and good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes, such an honor to have you here today. So briefly, can you just introduce yourself, what you do?
Thank you. It is truly a privilege for me to be here today this morning.
Yeah.
My name is Iklima Musa, and I currently serve as the Special Assistant to the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, on strategic partnerships, and also the Honorary Chair and the founder of Technology Bridge Foundation for Women and Girls.
Okay, great. So can you just give us insight into what you do at what NITDA does, or the role of NITDA in Nigeria currently?
NITDA is an agency that was established in 2001, saddled with the responsibility of developing and regulating all IT activities in the country. In addition to that is also the advisory role that NITDA plays to develop IT in Nigeria.
Okay, great. So there's currently we have this an AI revolution globally, not just in Nigeria. From your work and what you do, have you identified any persons or people groups that seem to be left out of this revolution currently in Nigeria?
Speaking of revolution, I think we should, before at least we even get to AI, I think it's important for us to understand how technology is defining the moment that we're in currently.
Yeah.
Technology drives economics for us today. It drives a lot of sectors like agriculture, health, education, and even it's going to define the future of work. And when you look at revolutions, revolution didn't just start now. It started years before now. We had the first industrial revolution that started in 1760s to 1840s, and it was largely driven by steam and mechanization. Second industrial revolution started 1870s to 1914, and it was largely driven by mass manufacturing, electricity, steel. Third industrial revolution, 1970s to 2000s, largely driven by electronics, computer, and even internet was introduced. And today, in the 21st century, we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution, which started from 2000s till today, and that is largely driven by technology. And when we speak of those technology, we're talking about AI. We're talking about robotics, we're talking about blockchain, we're talking about digital media platforms as well. And so if you look at the history, you understand that revolution started years before now. But why we are currently talking about AI is because AI is this buzzword that is everywhere. And, everybody talks about it because of the efficiency it brings to the table. And probably why we're talking about AI a lot now.
Okay. So I earlier mentioned that we have identified generally, that for every revolution, people are normally there are normally set of people that are not carried along as much as possible. So do we have this kind of people, or people who are endangered of being, not being part of, this technological advancement currently?
I mean, this kind of thing really gets scary when you look at it, because that means there is an AI equity gap. And that AI equity gap is then brought about the fact that there is exclusion of some particular group of people.
Yeah.
And the exclusion means that these people's interest, the needs, the risk,
Yeah.
and even the strength and the power for them to influence outcomes of AI systems are not there.
Mm.
And also, in terms of AI, the distribution of access to large-scale AI isn't there. It's very uneven.
Mm.
And it's largely driven by the fact that AI is driven by infrastructure, is driven by data, is driven by policies, driven by human capital, is driven by trust.
Yeah.
And that's why it cannot be distributed equally.
Okay.
And speaking of that, I would also say that the most obvious group of people that are quite excluded are women and girls.
Mm.
And why I said that is because even when you look at statistics, you understand that, for instance, globally, we have this level of people that are online. So ITU says 68% of people globally
Yeah.
are online in 2024.
Oh.
But in Africa, you have only 38% of people.
Mm.
That means something is happening with the continent. Although the continent is densely populated,
Mm.
then if you look at the data and you boil it down to geographic location, like I said, now in Africa, then also looking at gender, you would see that only 31% of women are online compared to 48% of men.
Mm.
And that means if you are not online, you don't have access to the right tools and you don't also possess the right skills for you to be online. And that already by design is leaving a lot of women and girls behind. Now, second thing I would say is unidentified or under-identified people.
Mm.
Till today, there are people that give birth and don't even register the births of the people. So if they don't have digital identity, it means they don't have digital footprints, and it means there is already a data gap. So whatever happens with them, their data sets are not collected, and it is not being put in the design of AI systems. 1 in every 5 young children are left behind. They are not registered under the age of 5. So you could imagine what we are leaving behind. Now, the third thing will be the fact that because our languages, our context, our dialects are not also put into consideration, and we don't have the right data of that, it means those context and cultural angle are not put into perspective in terms of design of AI systems. And the truth is, if AI doesn't understand your language, you don't expect it to solve your problem because they don't even understand your language. And in Africa, we have over 2,000 languages, of which in Nigeria, we have more than 500. And you could imagine a continent that is more than 1 billion people with these languages, and they are not reflected. It means the cultural context of the people are left behind. Another group of people that are quite excluded are the people living with disabilities. Because we don't have disaggregated data and we don't document their experiences and their needs, that means systems might not be designed with accessibility at heart. So these are some group of people that are quite excluded.
All right, thank you so much for that response. So we're looking at, so how are there systems or models that can be adopted to ensure that these people still have digital access or that are still included in what is happening currently, the technological advancement that we're seeing currently?
Yeah. Yes, so I'll say yes. And I think Nigeria has taken the lead on that.
Okay.
Last year in September, Nigeria launched the National Atlas, which is a multimodal, multilingual, large language model that represents 4 Nigerian languages. It represents Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and even Nigerian accent. And it's an open source model that is put together for innovation to happen so that our languages don't go extinct, so that our languages are also represented. I'll give you an assignment. Go to ChatGPT now, unlike before, and you see how far. it's going to respond because it understands what alpha means in Pidgin. So these are some of the models that we have already seen Nigeria taking a lead on in Africa. Also, I think there are trainings that are also happening in different buckets. In terms of designing targeted and concrete, something bespoke for women, especially so they have the requisite digital skills knowledge. I am aware that World Bank implemented an initiative for Northern Nigeria because of the gap that they saw in terms of skills, digital skills of women, called Gina Mata, Gina Al'umma. It was also done in collaboration with NITDA. And the one we did at NITDA was we trained around 402 women, and it has really gone a long way. There are also other initiatives of NITDA, like the Digital Literacy for All initiative, that has set an ambitious target of training 70% Nigerians by 2027 to be digitally literate. And of course, the segments of that are women. So these are some of the things that I know. Of course, safety by design is something that I know people are also putting into perspective in terms of building systems now, just to ensure that the right structures are put together. Digital public infrastructure is another thing. I don't want to go too technical.
I'm really glad you spotlighted some of the things that the government is doing to actually help to close the gap between marginalized groups, and other people, other persons in Nigeria as it comes to adoption of new technology. In the whole scheme of things, what is being done to actually ensure that data is non-biased, as it's being collected and used, to train models, and all of those kind of things?
So honestly, I would say Nigeria isn't starting from ground zero, but we're also not at the finish line. So that means the needle is moving. But in terms of data, collecting data is quite hard because people don't document, they don't document activities. And I think we also have to move from having to look at data for adoption or programs that are being adopted, but we should look at and measure inclusion. So our data should be able to represent geographic location, age, income, different variables, gender, very important. So if we have those data in place, we should then be able to build systems that are not quite biased. But also do not forget that there is the possibility of exclusion and also possibility of moving biases from offline to online. Because what exists offline is what is being used to build systems online today. So I would say that we need to do more in terms of bringing out the data and also representing the data's right for public good. And one thing that NATLAS has done is to do that, is to say we have this thing that is open source. Is there a way we could, just use it to innovate and do more and even represent more languages? But even in terms of that representation and building systems that are not biased, that means we need to have the right data sets. And for every economy to grow, especially in terms of AI, you need a mixture of some things. You need a mixture of human capital. You need the mixture of competence, which is the skills. You need the context itself. So getting those contexts documented and even representing the data might be where the issue is. You then also need the right compute data, which has to do with the digital infrastructure and even policy. And that's why I said earlier, it's not evenly distributed. But of course, we can do better in terms of enlightening people and also creating a platform where there is this consent data sharing that is happening. And that's what a digital public infrastructure then brings into play, where you have the digital identity in place, you have the financial system in place, and you also have the data. consent sharing. And it's something the Nigerian government is currently working on through the NGX platform, and also to have a framework that would standardize all public infrastructures.
All right. Thank you so very much, Ma, for speaking so clearly and openly with us on this platform today. It was such an honor to have you. I wish we had more time.
I wish.
But we're looking forward to having you again on the show sometime soon.
Thank you so much for having me, PIC. You've been amazing. I've been following a lot of PIC program for a while, and everything has been centered on development. And so thank you so much for having me today, and I look forward to doing more with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mara.